Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft Ideas. This time we're gonna go a little bit bigger. We're gonna go off script and we're gonna look at two builds this time. And these builds are, well, zeppelins, I guess, airships, whatever you wanna make of it. So let's get right into it. The first airship is surely a sight to behold, right? It's very, very big. It's also a different shape that you're normally used to. Normally used to like a boat which has like an air balloon attached to it and that's it. But this is more of like a mechanical kind of airship where it has like a structural thing on top that holds the balloon in place and also holds the part that puts everything, well, afloat, I would say, like puts the hot air up and it keeps everything afloat. And then you also have the ship compartment where you also have the cockpit over here, and in the ship itself there's a very spacious little room for all of your storage stuff, and there's also like more of a mechanical room for all the heating and stuff that you want to do inside, or maybe you have something to process some chemicals or whatever. You can do it all down here. And over here you also have the helm of the ship where you can steer around. You can also see plenty of stuff. Your vision is not the best, but it's enough to see pretty much everything that you want to see, right? You're never going to go backwards with this thing, you're always going to go forwards. Then taking a look at the design of this ship, other than the structural basis, you have two paddles on each side of the ship, which get used to, well, fly the ship around, I guess. It's kind of like a rowboat, I would say, where you have like two of those pedals and you just like row your boat up and down the stream. But if you go row your boat up and down the, well, still the stream, it's the airstream. And then you also have all these weights over here, which you can either drop to get to anchor yourself, or you can detach them to fly even higher, to drop off some weight that you have with some, I think you got some with like hot air balloons as well. They got like some weight that they can lower or drop and then they go up. I think they want, do they drop them? And I think they just like reel them in. Yeah, I think they just reel them in. So you can reel them in and like reel them out, and it will like lower the ship or like put your ship a little bit higher. So yeah, it's more of a, it doesn't really do anything about it, you know, it's just fun to have them. And I put some up here as well, some extra weight. And the structure over here is all there, this will hold the balloon in place, because you don't want your balloon to like fly off. That will be very awkward and probably very deadly as well. And here is the bridge, which you can actually access from the door over here, because the door is right here, and then you can just walk on the bridge and you can look around. This bridge isn't really that spacious, I would say. It's not really that useful to have, but it's nice to have that option. You might wonder what these things are on the side, like the two wooden parts. Well, those are also for some, maybe you have your water in here, so you still have like drinkable water when you travel around, or maybe that's even more storage or some goods that you want to transport or that you want to sell in a different city. That's where you can place them. So right now there's no real entrance to it, but you could like knock this wall out. There we go. And then you could add even more storage here. The same with the other side. Can just knock this wall out. There we go. And then you have more room over here. You can put some barrels or some chests and add extra room to your ship. If you want to build something like this, because it looks very overwhelming and it looks very difficult, and I agree, it's not the easiest thing to build, but I will recommend first building like a wireframe. So let me show you like in a very small example, right? So I'll put this thing up here. So you first want to like decide how long your ship's gonna be. So let's say I want to have a ship that's this long, and then you decide, you kind of try and get your shape done. So you start with a pointy side. So this is a pointy side. There we go. Same with this, pointy. And then you got your, well, round sides. So you just do something like this, for example. And there you go. Here is the top of your ship. It looks very small, and because it is. But that's like how I work. So I first decide top shape, and I don't care about anything else. And from there on, for example, for this ship, you can like add the thing that you need like this, right? And then you decide how thick you want it and where you want to go with it. But that's not as important. Just in general, just start with this base and then start from the bottom, the same way as before. The front side from ships is always a little bit sharper, I would say. So here you go, like more like this, and on the back it's more roundish again. It's more like a stumpy almost. You just go like this. So over here you got like a sharp shape, and over here you got like a round shape. And that's how you start with your ship. And of course you don't have anything yet, but from there on out you can add some whatever blocks you want. I'm just doing this real quick, but you can add some stairs maybe, or some blocks or some slabs. It's basically whatever you need. So for example, I can do something like this. Normally I like try around, a lot of trial and error. It takes a while to like get figured out what shape you want. And well, it never works the first time around, so you're always like looking where it can go better, and then you just, well, make your shape different based on that. For example, I think this one can be better like this, and probably this one as well. So slowly but surely you're getting somewhere, and then you can be happy with it. So for example, I'll do something like this instead, because it looks better that way. Yeah, so it's not perfect, but it's getting there, and this is just like a build I did in, what, a minute? So yeah, it's a lot of playing around with the shape that you want, and eventually you'll get it. It's like touching and seeing how the shape looks. If it doesn't feel right, remove a block, replace a block, do a different angle of the stairs. Just play around with it, and eventually get the shape that you want for the boat. Some other small details you'll see in this boat is all the copper on the side and the greenery as well. There's some greenery going on, so extra accents, I would almost say, in the build, so it doesn't look bland, it doesn't look just gray. So you'll notice a lot of like green terracotta. Also on top here you notice a lot of green wool in a certain pattern, like some wavy pattern, some circles, and that's just to make it look and make it feel more interesting. You don't have to do it, you're free to do whatever you want. And then there's also a different change, like the entire boat is made out of stuff, but there's also some normal, like instead of the polished, it's also normal stuff. And I added some deep slate tiles to give some more accents, some color variation between the parts, as well as some normal stone to give some extra color variation, but not too much different from the normal tuff. And also some andesite for the same reason as the stone. So it's playing around and looking what feels good, and eventually you'll get it right. And then we have the second boat, and also the last boat, because as you notice, these builds are like 4 times as big as the things I normally do. This build is more of like a classic airship, I would say. Like, this is a very old school looking airship with the wings and the zeppelin on top, or air balloon. Can I call it a zeppelin? Let's just call it the air balloon. And the air balloon has some details to it, right? It's mostly all white wool, but it has some small things going on to it. For example, the fences that hold it together so it doesn't fly away, it's like over here. But it also has some lodestones on every fence, connected with a grindstone, which kind of looks like a bolt from afar. And these bolts are chained together, so they hold the air balloon just a little bit tighter, just like an extra securing method, and also looks pretty decently. Like, it's a very clean design to have. And other than that, it also has more of a wooden tip to make it more strong, just in case it ever hits the tip towards a building or something sharp, that it doesn't just pop like a balloon, like a very big balloon, because that would again be very deadly and not pleasant at all. It also has these pointy things. Here we go towards like a house that it can like hoop it, so it doesn't like, again, explode like a little balloon. And the string that goes around the air balloon also is attached to the boat itself. Every 5 blocks there's like one of those things that hold this together. And there's also some chains going off here, for example, for maybe the rope once like broke and then they fixed it by knitting a couple of ropes together, and it's like the leftover rope that's just hanging there. And if you look at the bridge itself, you'll notice that it has some well, what's this thing called? You sometimes have those like bio chips as well, like something you can like look through, and the storage is down there. I'm not quite sure what it's called, but it's here. And it adds for extra light down there, and also more decoration on top of the bridge, or else it will be very bland and very boring. And once we get over here, you'll notice that the helm here is a little bit more advanced than the other one. It's almost the same. It's also like a lectern with a grindstone. I think that one was just a grindstone, and then a lever for maybe it's like a self-destruct lever. I don't know, but it does nothing. So I think I'm good. And a lantern, so you can actually see at night. Very useful. Once inside, you got a little living quarter, I would say, almost like a captain's quarter, where you have your cartography table, so you can check out your map. I talked about doing a map over here instead of the painting, but this map looks very boring. It's very green, so I might as well just do the painting, so it's at least something you can look at. But in like a real survival world, this is where I would place my map. This would be like a very cool spot to place your map, and then maybe I would add like a small table over here as well. Then once you go down, you'll notice that this also has like a very big storage area with your water that you need for supplies, I guess, so you don't dehydrate on your travels, and some storage systems that has all of your stuff. Same with some wheat over here as extra supplies, and these barrels can also be used as storage things, but in this case they are more their purpose is more of a foundational purpose that like holds everything in place so it doesn't like crack down if there's too much weight on top. And over here you also got your storage area where some of the things might have gone stale, and that's why there's some bushes coming out of it. Then the design of the ship itself is pretty clean and simple. It consists mostly out of spruce wood, but there's also some other things that's going on. Now, the first thing you'll probably notice is the mangrove trapdoors, which are being used as windows, as well as the stairs that go around in a circle. There's also some windows, and over here there's stairs going upside down and all the way across. And some trapdoors they go all the way across to make like a two separate sections between the bottom part and the top part, and also which makes it look a little bit nicer. And beside that there's ladders which are well placed at random intervals, but still like I guess maybe like 2 blocks, sometimes 3 blocks, depends on where you want to place it. It's just more of like a feel thing. It feels nicer to have. And on the bottom there's not only spruce, but there's also a spruce wood and some mud bricks to give some more color variation and give more of like a dirty feel to it. And I think that was pretty much all of it. So there you have it. That was my 2 airships. I know it's not the 4 things that I normally do, but come on, you gotta give me some slack here. Those things are huge. If you compare to my other build, this thing is basically at least double of what I normally build, even though it's only 1 of each. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!